Villa Park is on the brink of erupting as two legendary Champions League memories are set for a dramatic reunion. Years ago, under the lights of the legendary Camp Nou, Unai Emery's Paris Saint-Germain collapsed in a 1-6 meltdown to Barcelona's historic comeback. Now the tables have turned. Erik ten Hag is the man in charge of PSG today, while Emery leads Aston Villa, driven by a dream to script his own footballing fairy tale. You couldn't write a better storyline. But the plot only thickens from here. This is a match where Aston Villa must score at least 2 goals to keep their hopes alive. On the other side, Paris Saint-Germain must prove they've finally broken free from the curse of second-leg collapses, a haunting pattern that's stalked them for over a decade in Europe. The 3-1 scoreline from the first leg is more than just a number. It's a map of tactical possibilities, a battlefield of strategy and split-sec brilliance, from intense chess matches in midfield between tempo setters to tactical duels on the touchline, to the high-octane clashes inside the penalty area. Emiliano Martinez versus PSG's fearsome front three, a trio built to dismantle any defense. To take down a giant, you must win the midfield, a place where rhythm is ruthless and even a moment's lapse is punished. Aston Villa knows that, PSG thrives on it, and when both sides treat the middle of the park like sacred ground, it becomes the most brutal battleground of all. For Villa, the duo of Youri Tielemans and Boubacar Kamara carry Emery's full trust. One is the compass, the other the shield. It's no coincidence that Tielemans leads the entire team in the Champions League this season for completed passes, progressive carries, ball recoveries, and even successful tackles. He doesn't just pass, dictate, or win possession, he does it all, and always at the right moment, keeping Villa's transitions smooth and seamless. Meanwhile, Kamara operates in silence, a rock-solid anchor, a protective layer that gives room for the likes of Marin and Rodgers to flourish higher up. But standing in front of them isn't just any midfield. PSG boasts a young, energetic core, one of the most dynamic units in the tournament. Leading the charge is Vitinha, who completed a staggering 148 passes in the first leg alone, the most ever by a PSG player in a Champions League match. Second only to Xavi in European knockout history. He's not alone. Alongside him is Zaire Emery, just 20 years old and already having a dream season, racking up 651 high-intensity pressing actions, the most of any midfielder in this year's competition. Add in Neves, who's made 42 tackles, just 3 shy of Casemiro's record from 2018, and you've got a midfield that punishes hesitation. For Villa, there's no room for even a half-beat delay. What makes this clash even more fascinating is the philosophical contrast in styles. Aston Villa favors a measured, controlled build-up from the back, slow in rhythm but relentless in pressure. PSG, in stark contrast, is a high-pressing machine, suffocating opponents in the final third and striking from quick, high turnovers. Statistically, PSG averages 11.2 high recoveries per match, the most in club history for a Champions League campaign. They've already generated 36 shots from high pressing this season, more than their last 3 Champions League seasons combined. That means even a single slip from Tielemans or Kamara could cost Villa a goal. And the pressure isn't just tactical. Villa Park has become a fortress, unbeaten in 17 straight, with at least 2 goals scored in 7 of their last 8 home games. But PSG is riding their own hot streak, with 16 consecutive away wins across all competition. All signs point to one conclusion: the midfield will be a boiling point, and whoever controls it will hold the key to this match's fate. And tonight, under the glow of Champions League lights with the echoes of the past still lingering, Unai Emery and Luis Enrique meet once again, this time at Villa Park. Their careers are shaped by highs and lows, but forever intertwined with a night that changed everything. The infamous La Remontada of 2017. That night, PSG, coached by Emery, seemed destined for the quarterfinals, only to see Enrique's Barcelona score 6 and pull off one of the greatest comebacks in football history. For Emery, it wasn't just a loss, it was a turning point. That defeat cost him the faith of PSG's Qatari ownership and marked the beginning of a downward spiral as Monaco, led by a young Mbappe, rose to prominence while PSG had to start from scratch. But Unai Emery never gave up. He rebuilt his career through Sevilla, Villarreal, and now Aston Villa, where he's rewriting history, bringing a once-forgotten club back to the biggest stage in European football. In one of his early interviews after taking the job, Emery didn't shy away from addressing that nightmare at Camp Nou. "I've won the Europa League 4 times, but I also lost 6-1 to Barcelona. That memory isn't a pleasant one, but it helped me grow. It's part of who I am." Today, that memory resurfaces. The setting isn't Camp Nou, it's Villa Park. This isn't Emery's PSG, it's Luis Enrique's, and this clash has never felt more personal. The man who suffered the most from Enrique's greatest triumph is now standing on the other side, waiting for a shot at redemption, a victory not just measured in goals but in leading a team without superstars to overcome the very giants that once brought him down. As for Luis Enrique, he arrives in Paris with a different mission: to rebuild PSG from the ruins of their Galacticos era. With Neymar, Messi, and Mbappe gone, he's transformed this team into a true collective, no longer reliant on big names. Still, he knows the shadows of second-leg failures loom large over PSG. Ironically, he was the architect of their most painful collapse, and maybe that's why Enrique is taking no chances. History tells him to stay cautious. PSG has led by 2 or more goals after the first leg of a Champions League knockout tie 7 times and crashed out 3 of them, a shocking failure rate at this level. If Aston Villa pulls off a miracle tonight, PSG will make history for all the wrong reasons, becoming the first team ever eliminated after leading by 2 goals in the first leg of a Champions League knockout round. It would be a record that shakes the very foundation of Paris's footballing project. That's why, tonight at Villa Park, don't just watch what unfolds on the pitch. Keep your eyes on the sidelines. That might just be where this match is decided. There's another hot spot that will command attention tonight: Emiliano Martinez. No goalkeeper enters the Champions League with more weight on his shoulders. He's the last line of hope against the furious force that is Paris Saint-Germain's front 3. The World Cup hero for Argentina now stands alone against Europe's most electric trio: Dame, Dembele, and Kvaratskhelia. 1 keeper. 3 elite attackers, each one capable of tearing apart any defense. But Martinez isn't new to this. He's stared down pressure before, from Copa America semifinals to World Cup finals, where he denied Mbappe and broke French hearts in that unforgettable penalty shootout in Qatar. If Villa manages to drag this match to penalties tonight, don't be surprised if Martinez steps up again, becoming France's worst nightmare one more time. But to even get there, he'll have to survive 90, maybe 120 punishing minutes against a PSG side that's no longer fragile and fanciful like under Thomas Tuchel. This version, under Enrique, boasts 3 attackers who can pierce any system. Dembele is having the best season of his career, with 42 goal contributions in 41 games. Kvaratskhelia brings chaos with every touch, and only 19, represents the face of PSG's next generation. It was in fact, who sparked their comeback in the first leg. Of course, Martinez is no ordinary keeper. He's a wild warrior, commanding, cunning, and a master of mind games. Before the first leg, he stirred controversy by wearing a hat with a World Cup trophy next to France's iconic rooster, and it made headlines across Paris. When the final whistle blew in that match, Martinez may have felt tears, but they were tears of pride. Tonight, Villa Park becomes a stage for destiny. PSG's front 3 are in red-hot form, but they've never felt pressure like this, under these lights, with these fans in this fortress. If it comes down to penalties, history could repeat itself. Martinez, calm, dancing on the line, reading every shot, making the impossible look routine, could once again break French hearts. Villa Park tonight isn't just hosting a Champions League quarter-final. It's a place where old scars may finally heal, or be torn wide open once more. Unai Emery has a chance to reclaim the memory stolen from him at Camp Nou. Emiliano Martinez could etch another epic chapter into his legend from the penalty spot. And if Aston Villa has the nerve to survive, they won't be underdogs anymore. They'll be a real force, one that Europe has no choice but to fear.